On my other video about emotional sexual abuse, I had a couple people ask me if I could do more examples that focus on adult examples because most of my video was on children. So let's do it. With adults, the big difference is that most of these would only count if there wasn't consent. Recording somebody during intimacy without their knowledge, watching somebody undress, shower, etc. without their knowledge. This is sometimes called peeping. Installing cameras to record people undressing or going to the bathroom, self-pleasuring, anything like that. If you take photos or videos that they are aware of but then share them with people without their consent, that counts. So that could be done in a revenge way, could be sharing with like a buddy in like a bragging kind of way, but the person in that picture did not consent to that photo being shared. That is emotional sexual abuse. Unwanted comments or jokes on their body, their sexuality, etc. This is basically what we consider to be sexual harassment. Sexual jokes that are intended to demean, embarrass, humiliate, put down, etc. Pressuring or forcing somebody to consume sexual content. Pressuring or forcing your partner related to their kind of sexual appearance or sexual behavior. So that could be things like not letting them dress in ways that might be deemed as attractive, like, oh, you need to dress modestly, I don't want you going out with a low-cut top, not letting them wear makeup or jewelry. Or it can be kind of almost the opposite of that, of telling them that they have to wear something that is more revealing than what they want to wear. Unconsensual monitoring or controlling of access to porn or use of porn, use of self-pleasure. So basically just kind of trying to control their solo behaviors, like how they manage their own sexual desires independently. Threatening to cheat to try to control their behavior. Trying to punish your partner through sexual withdrawal. This one I feel needs a big asterisk because I definitely have seen people who are with people who just aren't willing to agree to sex very often claim that they are being punished and just feeling punished, and actually that person trying to punish you or doing it in a controlling way are not always the same thing. People always have a right to say no to sex. And also saying no to you to try to force some sort of response or control your behavior is a different thing. Unconsensual exposing yourself to somebody. Sending unwanted and unsolicited videos or pictures to somebody. Using sex to control, manipulate, or force. So that can be through withholding. I will only have sex with you if you give me money. Or it can be demanding. Something like, if you don't want me to hit you, you need to sleep with me. Any behaviors that shame or guilt somebody for their sexuality or their gender orientation. Attempting to shame, humiliate, put down, or gaslight somebody for their sexual boundaries. Talking about your sexual experience, the fantasies that you have, your past experiences, anything like that. If your goal for talking about these things is to intimidate the person or people listening to you, or to cause jealousy in the people listening to you. Comparing a current partner to an ex-partner or anyone else, if the goal there is to put them down, make them insecure, make them feel like they need to do a certain act for you that an ex did or something like that. Behaviors that are intimidating or forceful or violent that are intended to create an atmosphere where saying no to sex or no to certain sexual acts no longer feels safe. Telling somebody that they owe you sex based on something you've already done for them, or sort of trying to pressure or force an exchange that they did not agree to or are not comfortable with. Threatening to harm yourself or take yourself out, that you make, like, if you don't give me sex or if you don't do this specific type of sex, then I'm going to. Mind games. Something like creating a anonymous or kind of fake social media account and DMing your partner and trying to sext with them to test them to see if they would cheat on you. Shaming somebody for their body count, for things they've done, their kinks, etc. exposing or threatening to expose somebody for their history, their sexual preferences, or sexual orientation, etc. Intentionally making somebody feel dirty for their sex drive or for wanting sex or being a sexual person. Pressuring or forcing somebody into sex work. Using financial dependence to ensure your access to sex. Sabotaging birth control, such as making holes in condoms, hiding birth control pills. Pressuring somebody to get pregnant or get you pregnant, or pressuring or forcing somebody's decision around pregnancy termination. Using threats related to pregnancy. So, I will leave you if you aren't willing to get me pregnant, or I will leave you unless you let me get you pregnant. This is another one that needs a caveat. It's obvious to most people, but having different needs related to reproduction are valid. Some people might leave a relationship because they want to be with somebody who's willing to have kids. That's not the same thing as using that as a way to try to control that person's behavior. So those examples are intended to be if you are using it like as a weapon to manipulate and control the other person. Sexual related gaslighting, denying that somebody was sexually abused, denying the impact of their sexual abuse, denying their experience of your sexual encounters. You actually liked that, or really anything that is you trying to force your version of reality onto them and their experiences related to sexual matters. The last one would be shaming or trying to control somebody based on their SA or CSA history. Things like, you have to stay with me because nobody else would want a broken person who was SA'd as a kid. Of course, feel free to leave your own examples in the comments.